Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Advisory. The next group of lessons, we're going to talk about MAD goals. So, you might have heard of SMART goals, and MAD goals to me are just about the same thing, right? Just different acronyms. So, why do we need goals? We're going to talk about this first lesson, and there's going to be a total of 5. So, we're going to break down what that's going to look like. So, this is Raymond. So he had stories about germs on airplanes and discovered that airlines hadn't done much to stop the spread of diseases. So he set a goal for himself to solve the problem of spreading diseases on airplanes. So by watching some YouTube videos and using parts of his garage, he was able to invent a new kind of filtration system, an air filtration system that stops the spread of germs. And then in 2015, he won the world's largest high school science competition. So, I mean, think about the time in the world we live in now and how crazy that is, right? Because now people are flying in planes during the pandemic, and they do say that the air filtration system is really solid. That said, he set out to do something new and he committed to it. And then he came away with winning the science competition. And he actually was a young inventor. So after this lesson, so this series of 5 lessons, we're going to explain why goals matter. And then we're going to identify the things that distract you from your goals, which is like now more than ever do we have more distractions when it comes to doing anything. And then how do you set your own mad goals? Why do we need goals? So a goal is essentially something that you're trying to reach or achieve, right? And so these are some reasons that we do need goals. So when you think about like giving you direction, so it like gives you a path to take, right, and helps you follow in that direction. Goals help you identify what's important to you. Setting goals helps us to measure progress towards success. They help you to stay motivated, and they help you to keep yourself accountable. Okay, and then so it says set goals and start achieving them today. These are all reasons why we need goals. We're going to watch a quick video about other reasons why it might be helpful to set goals, especially for students. So take a minute to watch this video.
Setting goals for yourself is one of the most important things that you as a student can do. When you look at set goals on a day-to-day basis, rather than looking at all of your tasks at once, you are more likely to stay motivated and focused. The first thing we are going to take a look at is proper goal setting. When it comes to goal setting, there are 2 types of goals you can set for yourself: long-term and short-term goals. Long-term goals are important because it allows you to set an objective that you want to work towards. It is easy to lose motivation if you do not set any long-term goals for yourself. If you don't care about what you learn in your courses, then you most likely won't care about what your final marks may be. You have to ask yourself questions like, what do I want to accomplish? And how will I do this? Short-term goals are steps that help you answer the first questions you asked yourself. By setting daily and weekly goals, you can work your way in small doses in order to come closer to your long-term goal. Without short-term goals, it can be easy to get overwhelmed by your long-term ambitions, creating unwanted stress. Grouping your work so that you think of it in smaller bits makes it easier to approach than the whole project at once. When working towards any of your goals, there will come a time when sacrifices will have to be made. Sometimes, short-term sacrifices are needed in order to carry out your long-term goals. You have to plan ahead in order to know what sacrifices will have to be made in the future. This avoids any unpleasant surprises. It is important to know that when setting goals for yourself, there are never any failures. Whether or not you've completed your goal, there is always something you can learn from the experience. Don't be discouraged if you don't complete a goal that you set for yourself. Just step back and think about what went wrong and how you can avoid doing the same thing next time.
Okay, so in the video, it explained why we should create goals for ourselves and then talked about the difference between short term and long term and how it's important to have both. We don't want just to only have long term goals because the short term goals help us to kind of keep us accountable along the way. And it breaks it down in like a more manageable way for us. Okay, so it also, what I think is an important thing that I take away from that video is the learning from failure. So sometimes if you don't achieve your goal, your instinct is to think, oh, I screwed up again, or I put all this time and effort and then I screwed it up and I failed, and how horrible that feeling is. But what you can take away from that is what you learned and how you can do things differently. So you can take something away that will allow you to do a whole different approach the next time. So it's important to be able to pinpoint those positives that you can find in certain situations. Okay, so it's a good example, like learning from failure instead of just giving up. Okay, so for the reflection, what I want you to do today is just, I want to, okay, so all of us have accomplished something in our lives. So I want you to just take a minute to reflect on a goal you've already accomplished. Okay, so maybe you wanted to make the soccer team and then you ultimately made the soccer team. Or maybe you wanted to make your best friend's birthday party, like the most special birthday party ever. And so you set out to do that and then you ultimately made it happen. So it doesn't have to be a big goal. It could be like, I want to take a shower today because it's been 4 days and that's a little too much or something, right? It could be anything. So I just want you to think about the goals that you make for yourselves every day and how we do this all the time. So one of my daily goals that I have that I try to follow is to go to bed at 9 o'clock every night. And it doesn't always happen. But it's for me, it's important to be able to get a good amount of sleep. So that's a goal that I have on a daily basis. Okay, so that's just an example. I just want you to take some time, think about what a goal is that you've already accomplished. You could either write it in your journal, you could discuss it with the person next to you, whatever your teacher would like to do. All right, guys, have a good day.